Okay, just to make a fast chazara of what we learned until now, the Rebbe brings down, by the Rambam writes, anyone that doesn't believe in Mashiach, or anyone that doesn't wait for Mashiach, not only he's denying in all the other Nevi'im, he's denying in Torah and Moshe Rabbeinu. He brings a proof from Veshav Hashem Alekechesh. The Rebbe is going to bring everyone down to Yisrael. He brings a proof from Parshas Bilam. Now the Rambam doesn't just say in Parshas Bilam it says that Mashiach is going to come, but the Rambam actually brings down all the psukim from Parshas Bilam. He doesn't just mention the beginning and the end, like the Rambam usually doesn't. The Rebbe says that's what the Rambam does in Nigeris Taimon. He doesn't only just mention it, like he does in Pirush HaMishnayos. He doesn't only just bring the beginning and the end, like he does in Nigeris Taimon. The Rambam brings down all the psukim. And the Rambam says this is going on David, this is going on Malach HaMashiach. So the Rebbe's question is why, what is this Noikeya to prove in the Mun in Mashiach that in all of these long psukim, this that he brings the proof from Parshas Bilam, the Rebbe says is understood. Because just to say V'shav Hashem Alekecha Shvuscha, I don't know that it's going to be done through Malach HaMashiach. It says V'shav Hashem Alekecha, and then Rambam emphasizes you need to believe in Malach HaMashiach. So therefore he brings all to the proof from Parshas Bilam. The Rebbe still asks why does he need to bring it in such a harichus? It doesn't fit for the derech of the Rambam. Now the Rebbe says you can say why does he mention another question? Why does the Rambam need to mention also David HaMelech as the first Mashiach? What is it Noikeya that also David is Mashiach? So the Rebbe explains two explanations. The first one is that the Rambam is being machazik to Amun and Mashiach. That when you know it's not a new concept, there was such a thing already in the past, it makes it easier to believe that it's going to happen again. The Baal Shem Tov Taka says that till something doesn't happen, the first time something happens, it's considered a nes. After something happened once, it's already been considered teva. It's interesting. I saw it says in Kesef Shem Tov, once something happens, it's already makes it easier for someone to believe that such a thing is going to happen again. Or it's all one nevuah. So just like the first half of the nevuah was mekuyim, so too the second half of the nevuah is also going to be mekuyim. Like the Rebbe brings in the heart over here, right? Like it says in the end of Maseches Markis, that Rabbi Akiva was happy when he saw the Shul fox going in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, because he knew that this is all one nevuah. So just like the first half of the nevuah was mekuyim, so to for sure the second half is going to be mekuyim. That the Kula is going to be in a very high level. But the Rebbe says it's shver to say that this is why the Rambam brings also David HaMelech, because the Rambam here is not to be machazik to Mun and be some Mashiach. So therefore you can mention David. Rather the Rambam is coming to bring a proof that the Torah mentions about Malach HaMashiach. That's it. And for that, it's not negate to mention one word about David HaMelech. It doesn't fit. Now the Rebbe asks in Sif Dalit, the Rambam in the next halacha says, also in Ari Miklat it says the Eibishter is going to make Eretz Yisrael bigger, then you're going to need to add 3 more Ari Miklat. So and it never happened, and the Eibishter didn't tell us for nothing this mitzvah. So the Rebbe's question is that why does the Rambam bring this proof in a separate halach? The proof from Parshas Bilam, the Rambam doesn't bring in a separate halach. He brings the proof from Parshas Bilam in one halach. All of a sudden, why is this in a separate halacha? And if it fits to put Ari Miklat in a separate halacha, so you should put the Rai from Parshas Bilam also in a separate halacha. Why is it 1, 2 in one halacha? The third proof in a separate halacha. Also, the Rebbe asks, why does it say Av Ba'ori Miklat? Why doesn't it say Av Parshas Shoiftim? What type of wording is this? The previous parsha says Av Parshas Bilam Neman. Parshas Bilam. Here, it should say Parshas Ori Miklat. Parshas Shoiftim. Parshas. What's Ori Miklat? What's type of, like you're not telling me a source. Okay, it's if hey. Shmuel Amar. Okay, whatever. Okay, weiter. Hey, now here the Rebbe is going to ask also the other question that Weinfeld asked in the other shir. Why does the Rambam say that David is the first Mashiach? Why is David the first Mashiach? He asked. Why isn't Moshe Rabbeinu the first Mashiach? Weinfeld asked.
Shaul was the first Mashiach.
Yeah. So that's the Rebbe mentions that also over here, that in the Bilti Mukha, that's what the Rebbe Taka answers here. The Rebbe doesn't say that. In the Bilti Mukha, when the Rebbe asked the question, the Rebbe's answer was, why is it Moshe Rabbeinu? Because the whole mitzvah, the word Mashiach means to smeared with oil, and the whole idea of smearing oil wasn't by Moshe Rabbeinu when he took them out of Mitzrayim. It was later in Parshas Kisisa. Okay, but here that's what the Rebbe says over there. Here the Rebbe asks, the first Mashiach fits more Moshe Rabbeinu. He took them out of Mitzrayim. In the Medrash, it says, Goyel Rishon, Hu Goyel Achron. The first Redeemer is the last Redeemer. Who's the first Redeemer? Moshe Rabbeinu. And he's the last Redeemer, Malach HaMashiach. So why isn't Moshe Rabbeinu the first Redeemer? And if you're going to say Mashiach means the literal meaning of Mashiach is someone smeared with oil, so the first one, or the one that was smeared with oil, also was Shaul. And in Tanakh, he's called Mashiach Hashem. Many times. The Rebbe brings it out over here. So why doesn't the Rambam say he's the first Mashiach? Okay, so inside. Hey.
It's taken away from him.
Huh?
We took it away from him.
From Shaul. He the Rebbe is Machalik if it's a Mekeren or a Pach, this, but still, he was called, at the end of the day, they took it away from him, but he had a name. Okay, hey. Kam tzarich lahavin diu kaloshin b'shnei haMashiach mad neigeh lakad of a mad after rak David nikon Mashiach. What is it neigeh? This concept that Mashiach, there's two Mashiachs. Even if he's going to mention David HaMelech, but when you're saying b'shnei haMashiachim, it's mashma that it's like one thing. It's one thing. Now the Rebbe asks, why is only David called Mashiach? Sharei kashem she David nimshach b'shem ramishcha b'keren v'nikra Mashiach Hashem, just like David was smeared with oil. It's takashech the Chanukah. He's smeared with oil with a keren, and he's called Mashiach Hashem. K'meiken b'fnei zeh nimshach Shaul b'pach v'gam hu nikra Mashiach Hashem. Right, so even before, also Shaul was also, even before him, he was also smeared with oil, and he's also called Mashiach Hashem. So why are you saying Dafke, David? If we want to separate, want to take on the two redeemers of the Yidden, in the beginning and in the end, if we want to, what's more befitting for the first redeemer and the last redeemer, Moshe Rabbeinu and the last redeemer? And like the Rebbe added in the Ksav Yad Kodesh, that's the next few words, like it's brought in the Paximilis. Both of them took the Eden out of Golus. Moshe Rabbeinu took the Eden out of Golus, and Melech HaMashiach is going to take the Eden out of Golus. So you should say Moshe Rabbeinu as the first Mashiach. Why not Moshe Rabbeinu? Why are you saying David? David did not take the Eden out of Golus. There's Golus Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't one of the Golis. Wasn't David HaMelech. Or the Hoyi Rishakam ben Igel Madrigasim ben Nevuah Kasav Rambam B'Shemashiach Gadol Mikol Hanavim. Okay, Dvar of seif1-4 v'Navi Gadol Hu Karev LeMoshe Rabbeinu Masha Ein Ken David. Right. Also regarding their level in Nevuah, the Rambam says that Melech HaMashiach is greater than all the Nevi'im, and who is the closest one to Melech HaMashiach? What does the Rambam say? Who's the closest to Melech HaMashiach? Moshe Rabbeinu, and not David HaMelech. So, the Rambam in the seif1-4 says, it's mashmi, we're going to get to Nevuah, but who's the closest to Mashiach? Moshe Rabbeinu. Why here, regarding Mashiach, when he says there's two Mashiachs, he says, he takes on that David is the first Mashiach, and not Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, let's read the Ha'aris. There's some Geshamaka long Ha'aris over here with the Yukim and the Rambam, which the Chayra I thought, why, here, the Rebbe, the Sikh is going in the order of the Rambam. The Rebbe asks questions in the first halacha, then the second halacha. Then the Rebbe, that's Sif Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet. And Sif Hey, the Rebbe jumps back to the second halacha, to the first halacha. Why didn't the Rebbe finish with the first halacha before Sif Dalet? So, here the Rebbe is being medayik in the Lashonis. The first seifim are more general things. The Rebbe's lashon is Gam Tzarech Lahavin Diyuk HaLashon. So now in the Ha'ara, the Rebbe says, more diyukim. Okay, so in the Ha'ara, you see on the word, right in the beginning of the Sif, on the words, the diyuk haloshin.
23.
Yeah, so the Rebbe is medayik more. Here the Rebbe is going to ask, why does it say, Parshas Bilam? Even in Parshas Bilam, the Rambam usually doesn't say the source. Aleph, Parshas Bilam, but it indirectly it's high in the market. Just like before the first proof. What does the Rambam say? The Rambam says, the Torah witnesses on him, but he doesn't say which Parsha it says. Why by Parshas Bilam? He has to emphasize which Parsha it says. After Parshas Bilam. Beis haloshin v'sham niba. Lamai nafka minute. Why does the Rambam have to emphasize that? It says in Parshas Bilam there is a nevuah. It could have just said in Parshas Bilam it says, "V'doiche God leimar kem shamaychtem." In Parshas Bilam tzarich levar v'sham niba. It's a very big doiche to say that. Why does the Rambam need to say it says it in Parshas Bilam it says in nevuah? Because I would think Bilam says something, so who cares? Who says Bilam knows what he's saying? Maybe some Schwarze, there's just some hacking in China telling you things. So the Rambam has to say v'sham niba. There's a nevuah. The Rebbe says there's a big doiche to say that's the reason why the Rambam emphasized it. Why not? Because the Rebbe says in a different Sikha, because it's brought in Torah, so for sure it's emes. So that's already enough. Why does the Rebbe need to add the words v'sham niba?
More brings a lot of rights from the various things that here that gesagt das it's finished.
Exactly.
It's a word in Torah.
Right, a word in Torah. Right, a word that the Rebbe brings from his father. Even when Torah says on some, that's in Gemara even in Gemara, even if it's a svara that they obschlag and they say baduse, it's a joke, it's this. Even that's Torah emes. Even the svara that they obschlag, for sure psukim and chumash is emes. So the Rebbe says it's a big doichak to say that because Bilam said it, so you have to emphasize v'sham niba. If it's in Torah, it's enough of a proof. So why does the Rebbe need to add the words v'sham niba? There he said in Avur. What's the Rebbe coming to add?
There's a famous story with the. In Chosses given, he wanted to speak by Mislakim. So we used to come, they used to pretend like they're Magidim, and then he used to give a drush. So he said the whole thing about the Esav is the Gita HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So after he went off, he knew the Chosses, he started beating him. Chutzpah, saying the Eibishter is Esav's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kitze, himself dann, ist reingekommen, der hat einen Verlassen, nehmen von der Gäste Verlassen. So he asked he called him over, told him, what's the issue? What happened? He said, Esau was like a fool. So call him over, what's that mean? So call Torah Kodesh, Meister Shakadosh Baruch.
So every word in the Torah.
So I said, okay, they have to be feisem. He has a good point.
Weil steht in Zohar, call it Torah Kodesh. Yeah.
Shakadosh Baruch. So Esau is also Shakadosh Baruch.
Okay.
Okay,
So for sure the guy no. But the Parshas Bilam, it's a ganze Parsha in Torah. It's for sure emes. So the Rambam, for that reason, the Rambam didn't say v'sham niba. Now the Rebbe says l'choyre yeshloiman shahoyis v'sham niba seifim1-4 kasuv lifnei zeh koifer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. Here the Rebbe says, I'll say Baal Peh first. The Rambam says v'chol mi she'einu ma'amin boi v'mi she'einu b'chaka l'v'yasei. Anyone doesn't believe in Mashiach, wait for Mashiach. Lo b'shar nevim b'lvad u'koifer el b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. Koifer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. Someone that doesn't believe in Mashiach is koifer in two things: in Torah, in Chamisha Chumshei Torah, and in Moshe Rabbeinu. There's two things. Because of these two things that the Rambam mentions, there's Torah. And Moshe Rabbeinu, so the Rambam says, V'shom, the first proof that Rambam, before the first proof of V'shom Hashem Elokecha Shvuscha, it says, Sha'arei HaTorah Ha'ida Alav, the Torah witnessed at Melech HaMashiach, and he brings the proof from V'shom Hashem Elokecha Shvuscha. And regarding this, that it's Kofer and Moshe Rabbeinu, is what it says, V'shom Niba B'shnei Mashiachim. Who is V'shom Niba? So here the Rebbe says it's going on Moshe Rabbeinu was Manabe. And the Rebbe brings from the Chasam Sofer. Where do we know? It's a very interesting Chasam Sofer. Where do we know? Where do we see that Moshe Rabbeinu was a Navi? In the Chasam Sofer. Where do we know it? The Rebbe says, Baker from the Chasam Sofer. We know it from Parashas Bilam. Because everywhere else in Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu saw. This he wrote it down. But how does Moshe Rabbeinu know what's happening in Yehupitz? How does he know what's happening somewhere else? How do we know? How did Moshe Rabbeinu know to write down in the Torah that there's someone down there and he went to hire someone to curse the Yidden, and he saw this and that? This whole Maisa of Parshas Bilam, it's a nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu, and that he says that's. But you could say, okay, whatever. I'm just saying the way the Chasam Sofer. Then it brings then the Chasam Sofer asach, not asach. I saw it for sure in another sikha. Tov Shin Chav Ches Parshas Bilam, Parshas Balak. There was a whole arichas on this Chasam Sofer, long thing. I brought in the sefer in the back, but everywhere else, a guy could do you to say that he saw it. He saw it. And he wrote it down. But in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, how does he know what's happening somewhere else?
Steht doch in the seifim malachim von Adam.
But that was before Moshe Rabbeinu.
But we should understand.
That was,
He's writing something that's
how
gonna
do you know that Moshe Rabbeinu was a Navi?
He's writing about something that's going to happen. The seifim malachim until Shalom Melech. There's no time.
But that's in Parshas Bereshis before Moshe Rabbeinu was born.
Who wrote it?
Where do we see?
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Kol HaTorah is in a view of Moshe Rabbeinu, and the Rebbe says it over here.
It's not something he saw. It's something he's writing. It's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Who going to be kings of Edom? It didn't happen yet.
Right. So it's like in Parshas Bilam. Right. He says it's a very interesting. Alena vuazi chelik ma'Torah. Shekvaridu b'mered shebebilam haya. Shebilam haya novi. Madum is yachsim ulza b'losh naf Parshas Bilam. Gedavar neis shemachol g'vayis ha'acheris. Shekos v'achroinim hu. The Rebbe brings the Chesam Sefer. The Yichocha that Torah is min hashamayim is from Nevuas Bilam. As he schreibt the Chesam Sefer, and they brought in the look at harder page Tavas Amar Zayin, harder 73. Page Tavas Amar Zayin, harder 73. B'chol HaTorah. Harder 73. B'chol HaTorah Shleima Shamesh Shama v'Arin Yoda. This is the words of the Chesam Sefer. Everywhere else in Torah you can say Moshe Rabbeinu heard. Arin knew v'Yeshua kibel v'Yarin kiblu v'chulu. Avur Parshas Bilam zelei shaykh. Shleimei Arin lo hayu sham v'chulu. Bilam lo yisipar la'af echad mashu chayshef. V'mkein v'zeh shekoyz v'mashe Bilam choshav mochach sheterem min hashamayim bi. V'mkein v'oz Bilam chshuva kol kach ad shachrinim eivenu sh'makam avad yesh chocha sheterem min hashamayim. So ich schreibe the Chesam Sefer. Everywhere else in Torah.
Sagt der ganze das mit Leben der Moshe Rabbeinu sagt man der Rav.
Yeah, Zareinu Shama v'lo yacher. Everything else, at the end of the day, the way he says it, people were there, people saw it. If a guy's going to come, let's say he's speaking to an Apokoidis or some guy, I don't know what. So everything else, he saw it, so they wrote whatever they saw.
The case is not going to help.
If
there's not going to help, but there's some who says that can be thought that. The case is not going to help.
But not Apokoidis, but Luyu Tzur, the way, who's called a Torah, Yeshleim Shemesh Shama v'Arin Yadu. Who's going to say such a thing? Shemesh Shama v'Arin Yadu. Where is the?
He was there.
I'm saying it everywhere else.
He's not onkommen zu Nevuah. He's not onkommen zu Nevuah. It's not something you saw. It's something that was given to you in a supernatural way that you couldn't find out in any other way.
He says, Parshas Bilam, how do you know what's happening down there? So it has to be Nevuah. Okay, so that's what the Rebbe mentions the same sefer right over here in the Ha'ara, without the Rebbe says. So for this, why does that Rambam say before Parshas Bilam Sham Liba? This is connected to what the Rambam said earlier. He's kaifer in Torah and in Moshe Rabbeinu. This that he's kaifer in Torah, Kasav Shariah Torah, Idalav Chulu. But this that someone that doesn't believe in Mashiach is kaifer by Torah. So for this that he's kaifer in the Chumash, he brings V'shav Hashem Alekecha Shvizcha, and right before that proof he says Shariah Torah Idalav. V'azesh kaifer by Moshe Rabbeinu, Kasav Afba Parshas Bilam Nemar V'sham Niba. For this, that someone's kaifer in Moshe Rabbeinu, he brings Afba Parshas Bilam Nemar, and he emphasizes V'sham Niba. Who's the one that said in Nevuah? That's Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Rambam doesn't write V'loi V'av Bilam Niba. The Rambam doesn't say Bilam was Menabe. He says Afba Parshas Bilam Nemar V'sham Niba. The Parshas Bilam, it says he said in Nevuah. And who said in Nevuah? That's going to Moshe Rabbeinu. V'kavanasi l'Nevuah es Moshe. V'chein Mashama b'Pirish HaMishnayis Ovis Mishnah Dalid. The Rambam writes in Pirish HaMishnayis. It says v'chein David HaMelech v'shiyodu Hashem Yisbarach Lanu. Eibishter witnessed to us about David HaMelech al yidei Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu said a nevuah about David HaMelech. Where? In Parshas Bilam. And that's what it says. So the Rambam writes that the Parshas Bilam is the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu. So basically, in simple words, there's being koifer in Chamisha Chumshei Torah, koifer in Moshe Rabbeinu.
Why? Because no one heard it. No one heard the conversation in the brachas of Bilam.
Yeah, only Moshe Rabbeinu through his nevuah, so that you know he's koifer directly in nevuah's Moshe. So this that you're koifer by Torah, he says Veshav. He says Harei HaTorah Hida Allah Veshav Hashem Elokecha. The Torah witnessed on him, like it says Veshav Hashem Elokecha. For this that he's koifer in Moshe Rabbeinu is what he says. Af b'Parshas Bilam Namar Veshom Liba. Right? Let's look inside the Rambam. The Rambam says over here. The Rambam says, "Li she'ein ma'amin bei, mi she'ein machakel b'yasei, koifer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu." Koifer in Torah and in Moshe Rabbeinu. For this that he's koifer by Torah, so that's what he continues. Sharayat Torah idolav. For this that he's koifer in Moshe Rabbeinu, that's what he brings in the next proof. V'shom liba b'shnei HaMashiachim, and that's referring to Moshe Rabbeinu. Because who is Manaba b'shnei HaMashiachim? So l'choyri you would think it's referring to Bilam. But the Rebbe says over here from the Pirush HaMishnayos that it's not referring to Bilam, but it's referring to Moshe Rabbeinu that said over the nevuah of Bilam. Now the Rebbe says l'choyr mishallah, l'choyr mishallah. B'Pirush HaGemara, Moshe Kosav Sifrei uParshas Bilam. The Shalom writes, Moshe Rabbeinu wrote Chumshei Torah and Parshas Bilam. Moshe Rabbeinu wrote especially, even like separately, Parshas Bilam. But that's who is Parshas Bilam Shachta? Directly to Moshe Rabbeinu. So for this, that koifer by Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, where is he koifer? The whole Torah is for Moshe Rabbeinu. Where do we see that he's koifer Moshe Rabbeinu different than the rest of the Torah? So the Rebbe says this is what he emphasizes Parshas Bilam and Shom Niba. Yeah? Now the Rebbe says Luhoy Meshut Chsam Sefer Yeridei Sham Chsam Sefer that we mentioned before. Now the Rebbe explains Haynu Shakefer Bet Torah Uve Nevuas Moshe. The whole Torah is coming from Moshe Rabbeinu. It's Torah's Moshe, but there's a special, there's the regular Torah that came through Moshe Rabbeinu, and then there's the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is a separate thing. Even though the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu, even though the whole Torah came through Moshe Rabbeinu, but the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu has a separate gedet, as it's his own specialty, his own category, the nevuah that comes through Moshe Rabbeinu, than the rest of the Torah. So a guy that's koifer in B'yis HaMashiach, this is what the Rambam is coming to emphasize, that he's koifer in Torah and also in the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu. How chomer it is. Now we're going to see later, the Rebbe, okay, we're going to see it soon. According to what we said over here is understood why the Rambam brings the Rai from Adi Miklot in a separate halacha. Why does the proof from Adi Miklot in a separate halacha, not together with Parshas Bilam and Veshav Hashem Elokecha? The proof he brings in a separate halacha. Maybe she's going to make the rest of the ha'ara. Ki zohi rayon yitzavus misvora. You see it inside of it, or it's missing?
No, I'm a little lost in the RI, so I'm just listening.
Okay. Ki zohi rayon yitzavus misvora. When regarding the Rai from Adi Miklot, what does the Rambam say? He says, this never happened. Eretz Yisrael never came bigger, and we never needed to add 3 Adi Miklot. It says if the Eibishter is going to make Eretz Yisrael bigger, you're going to need to add 3 more Adi Miklot. The Rambam says this never happened, and the Eibishter didn't tell us for nothing. We need to add Adi Miklot when Eretz Yisrael comes bigger. So what's the Rambam doing over here by saying this whole pilpul over here? The Torah says you're going to make Eretz Yisrael bigger, and the Mashiach is going to come, and that's it. And we're going to need to add Adi Miklot. Why does the Rambam need to say, but it's never happened, the Eibishter didn't tell us for nothing? So the Rebbe says, it's very interesting the way the Rebbe learns over here, because everywhere else, we're going to learn later on, the Rebbe learns just the opposite. But the way the Rebbe learns over here is, the Rambam says, why does the Rambam bring it in a separate halacha, Adi Miklot? Because it's not a Rai from Torah. That's why the Rambam doesn't say, Af Parshas Adi Miklot Vaymer. Because it's not shaykh to kofer by Torah. It's a raya from a svara. It's the Rambam's eigen svara. The Rambam's own, how do you say svara in English? His own, it makes sense. His own, rationale or logic, whatever. So because of that, he's not shaykh to kofer by Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. V'shav Hashem lekecha shvizcha is Torah. Parshas Moshe Rabbeinu is Parshas Bilam. Then the Rambam makes a hefsek. Yeah, it's a svara. The Rebbe says, it's over here. I put it somewhere else.
Such a thing as so just because it's svara, he comes up with a new novel idea. So
maybe you can the way the Rebbe is learning over here it's like it doesn't. The Torah doesn't say. It's not shach to parsha. It's a svara. But elam lahayid over zeh. Litziva kadosh baruch hu b'tayu. The Rebbe in other sichos, the Rebbe learns just the opposite. In the second sich over here later on, the Rebbe learns that this Rai from Ari Miklat is such a strong proof, and this is the strongest proof for Mashiach. And like he's saying, because the Rambam says, "V'litzivah kadosh baruch hu l'tayu." The Eibusha didn't give us a mitzvah for nothing, and a mitzvah is the strongest level in Torah. Torah, you could say it's beruchnis, you could say koram achet, you could say a whole bunch of things. A mitzvah is the strongest level of Torah. It's la'adol oil me'olamim. Over the border of Mefurish B'Torah, the Rambam says something that's a shehi mitzvah. So medes la'adol oil me'olamim. So therefore, because from this proof, you see that Mashiach is shaykh to mitzvah in Torah. This mitzvah you're going to do only when Mashiach comes. So this is the strongest proof for Bias HaMashiach, and therefore the Rambam puts it in a separate halacha, not with the first two proofs, which are not so strong. But the way the Rebbe is learning over here, as of now, it's the other way around. The first two proofs is Torah, from Moshe Rabbeinu, it's Parshas Bilam. Right, the Rambam says Kover by Torah, from Moshe Rabbeinu. So you have Torah is V'shav Hashem l'kecha shvizcha, Moshe Rabbeinu is Parshas Bilam, and that's it. Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu. That's it. We're done. Separate halacha, he brings a raya from a svara that it says that it's is going to get bigger. You're going to need to add 3 more order miklat. The Eibusha didn't tell us for nothing and this and that. It's a svara, so the Rambam doesn't bring it together with the rayas from Torah and Moshe Rabbeinu. So that's the first two proofs. And the Rebbe says, according to this, you can understand why before the proof of Ari Miklat, the Rambam says, regarding Ari Miklat, it says, according to understand now why the Rambam says also in Ari Miklat it says, and the Rambam doesn't say in Parshas Shoiftim, because he wants to emphasize that it's not shaykh to any Parsha in Torah or to Torah. It's a svara. But the Rebbe continues, this is a big doichak to say, this svara, that it's just a svara, is a big doichak. Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to continue.
Still 8:50 every week?
Unless Weinfeld is not going to continue. Is he continuing or just this week?
No, he's continuing. He was here this week. He was here today.
8:50.
Yeah.
8:50.
Okay, it's 8:50, Be'ezrat Hashem.
Maybe for some clarity about Mashiach.